Good evening, everybody. And as you can see, we have our copyright disclaimer up under Section 107 of the Copyright of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as, what does that say? Criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use, a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. This is my channel, and I will talk about what I want. With that being said, welcome. And we're going to talk about chromosome duplication 16p.11.2, which both of my youngest two children have, and they have autism, which is just one of the very many things that go along with the 16p.11.2. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thursday. As you all could see from my uploaded video from earlier, I had a very interesting day. So y'all met Buddy the Bull. He's one of our new bulls. My daughter's going to be showing him for FFA and 4-H. He'll be halter trained. He will also be a stud for our 350, that's right, 350 milk cows. So before I get started, I just wanted to address a few things. So I had a nasty message again. Somebody telling me to get a job and not to talk about my daughter's, my daughter being molested at 2 prior to coming to live with us. And the fact that she was given an STD at 2 because she was molested. First off, I must state this. You saw the fair use claim, the disclaimer. Thank you. I want to use my platform to bring awareness to other moms, other families out there, somebody that this could possibly help, and to bring understanding that this does happen in this world every day. Every single day. But what I won't have done, and this person named a bunch of platforms. So if this continues, there will be a cease and desist order served by my lawyer. Okay. I'm not messing with any of you. And I want you to leave me alone and take your crew with you. Okay. Don't send them over here to be nosy and then to message me on Messenger on Facebook. At the end of the show, I'm going to show you a shirt that I made special today in between all the hecticness. So my platform is going to be based off a foundation. Love, hope. Okay. I want to be able to use my YouTube channel to help other moms, help other families, because being a mom, especially with children with disabilities, is a struggle. Being a full-time mom, having 350 milking dairy cows. And as you all could see, we got a new bull named Buddy. So I have chickens, I have cows, I have a farm. This is our homestead, okay? We have a whole another farm, a house, cows, buildings. I'm also the person that writes the schedule, makes the paychecks, the hours. I'm the one, because we have been, and the reason we decided to get a new bull, number one, Prince can't keep up with everything, with there being 350 ladies. Hold on one second. Who's coming up? Let me shut my door. Dallas, come. Come. So Prince can't keep up. Sorry, I'm trying to hide my shirt because this is for at the end of the show. So Prince can't keep up with 350 girls. He's only one man. So we have, for the last 3 years, been artificially inseminating, which means my arm's got to go this far up into a nice heifer and place semen. So we decided to invest this year in getting another bull. We house one bull on one end, and Buddy is going to be on the other end. Right now, he is with a friend in pasture because he is a young bull. So we're getting him used to having another bull around also, so that if we do decide to get another bull down the road, we can. We just had some really good bull semen to use up, and calving has been going really good. So yeah, so y'all met Buddy. Buddy's our calf. Well, he's not. He's a big boy. He's a pretty big boy. I'm going to give a great big shout out to CT for thanking him and him helping me during my frustration. I am actually going to be making a different YouTube channel other than this one, because obviously I clearly can't get rid of these psycho people, even when I've left that behind. So I was going to show you guys all a video. So Sky's meeting Buddy for the first time. She just wants to play with him. Sky, that's a cow. Sky. Buddy. He's like, are you my mama? You're kind of small to be my mama. Sky, where's your ball? Oh, here comes Buddy. Oh, yeah. Okay, watch out, watch out. Sky. Sky. I don't think you should have unleashed her yet.
Oh, yep. It is.
Sky. Oh, no, AJ. Oh, Sky, come on. Sky, come. Sky, come. AJ, get that. Probably not a good idea. Sky, come.
Oh.
Jack!
Hey, there.
Yeah, come here. Put your shoes on and come here.
Keeping his head up.
You're big. He is big. What do you think? Oh, yeah.
Yep, inside Sky.
Come on, Sky. Sky Everest. Sky, get her out of there. He'll kick her. Sky. Put the leash back on her. Come here.
Where'd you get from my girl?
What are those?
Cowtails.
That's funny. He got
I
like
gave it to Kale. Since Kale lost hers because I believe someone drank it.
She just wants to play with him. So what do you think, Kayla? You going to be able to show him? Okay, you going to show him? Yeah, for sure? You got to halter train him.
Big boy.
He is a big boy.
Guy.
Sky, Dad should be home, so you're going to have to help load him.
Big boy.
His name is Buddy. What do you think? You guys are going to show him. We're only doing one this year. Look at him. He loves cuddles.
And I got barbecue chips.
Great. Just what you needed. You have chicken.
Because I was good at always.
Yes. You have chicken chores too. Which ones did you get? Oh. Same. We need to get you a bookshelf for your room. Okay, come check them out.
My whole middle shelf of my toy box is filled.
That's good. Well, he's getting there. Oh, he likes you, Kay. Kay, he likes you. No, he's not been on the mom or the Bob. Okay, so as you hear, my young daughter, her name is Kaylin, and we call her KK. Or Kay, or Kayla. But we mostly call her KK. And she was super excited. Buddy is going to be her and my son's show cow, but Buddy for the first time. And we have Sky's our herder dog. So one guest, come on in and say hi if you've got the hello down here. So anyways, Sky is a herder dog, and so she's never seen a baby calf. She's seen the bigger cows. We don't let her go by the little ones just because she gets kind of wild. But we wanted to introduce her because Buddy will be frequently coming over here during field changes because it gives him a rest to get out and stretch too, and he's going to be a big boy. He's probably going to be anywhere from 1,500 to 1,800 pounds. It's going to be a big boy. A lot of our females are a little bit bigger than that. So, but KK will be showing that little man. Well, I guess I can't call Buddy little. Buddy is not little. So, which is exciting, and I'm glad you guys could all meet Buddy. But I have decided to make a different YouTube channel, one that nobody can find other than people that want to follow me in a positive way, because there's still people coming over here and commenting rudely. There's still people coming over here or messaging me on Messenger. And I'm going to please ask you again, from one channel holder to another, talk to your followers, talk to your crew. You know who you are, because your guest tonight mentioned that you're a crew. So take your crew and shut the door and don't let it hit you on the way out. Second thing I'm going to address. Let me find my wallet first.
Taylor, how could you do that? You're my boyfriend. I'm sorry, buddy. I really didn't see her.
The second thing I'm going to address is this picture that I've carried around in my wallet for almost 31 years. It is my daughter, Ashley May. Okay? My daughter's name is Ashley May. She was born July 30th of 1990, and she was stillborn at 41 weeks. Okay? Hold on. See, that's in my wallet. It has been there for that long. I was 15 when I got pregnant with her and 16 when I gave birth to her. All right. The picture's kind of fallen apart because it's been in my wallet for so long. But that is our deceased daughter. Okay? That's our daughter. That's Ashley May. Okay? So I'll say a name if I want, because that's my daughter's name. If you have a problem with it, don't bring it to me. So before you get your undies in a bundle, thank you for leaving. Now we can get down to business. I wanted to show them the shirt because I had it specially made. Anyway, long story short, we're going to get down to business. We're going to talk about the chromosomal duplication 16p.11.2, which is, oh shoot, I forgot to bring it up. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I was going to look up the unique thing and I completely forgot because okay, so we're going to find 16p.11.2 microduplication. All right, guys, sorry about that. So I need to. We're gonna do this. We're gonna share a screen. Okay, so it's downloading it. Hold on. And I don't think we need. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so I don't. Whoa. Shoot. Hold on 1 second. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger than that. Hold on, let me take this one down. I'm going to try a different one. We're going to try share screen. It might not give me the option to go bigger, but we will see. Okay, that's a little bit bigger. So, okay. So can you all see it? It's called Unique 16p.11.2. It's what I have right here. So hold on. So hopefully it lets me scroll. And we'll stop here and see where we're at. Okay. So I'm going to go to my next page so that I can read it. Hold on, let me adjust the light, because otherwise this thing blinds me. Hold on. Gravy. Oh, he's sleeping. Oh. All right, you guys, you ready? Sorry I wasn't prepared, like 100%. All right. So the first part of it is called the 16p duplication. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and read that. So a chromosome 16p deletion. Oh, this is deletion. I wonder where they have the deletions. I needed the duplications on here. Well, either way, we'll get to it. Might not be all tonight because we're only going to be on here for about an hour. Hello, I'm on live. What's up? Oh, Daddy's home. Bye, Dallas. See you in the morning. Okay. So a chromosome 16 deletion means that a part of one of the body's chromosomes has been lost or deleted. If the missing chromosome material contains genes with important instructions for the brain or body, development delay, some learning and behavioral difficulties, and health problems may occur. How apparent and important these problems are depends on how much of a chromosome has been lost and where the deletion or duplication may be. Our bodies are made up of billions of cells. Most of the cells contain a complete set of tens and thousands of genes. Genes act like a set of instructions directing our growth, development, and how our bodies work. Genes are carried on instructions called chromosomes. There are usually 46 chromosomes, 23 inherited from the mother and 23 inherited from our father. So we have two sets of 23 chromosomes in pairs, apart from two sex chromosomes, two X's for a girl and an X and a Y for a boy. The chromosomes are numbered 1 through 22, generally from the largest to the smallest. Each chromosome has a short arm on the left in the diagram on page 3. So we'll get to, hold on. Is this page 3? Yes, this is page 3. So we'll pull up page 3. So this is what you're going to see is the chromosomes. That's what we have. Let me put this back so I don't lose any pages. I just thought it'd be easier to do it this way. That way you could all see. Called P from petite, and French word for small, and a long R called Q on the right. In a 16p deletion, material has been lost from the short arm of one of the two chromosome 16s. Chromosomes can be seen with the naked eye, but if they're stained and magnified under a microscope, each one has a distinctive pattern of light dark bands. By looking at the chromosomes in the way, it is possible to see the points where the chromosomes has broken and the material is missing. If the missing piece is large enough, the missing piece of chromosome can be tiny or much larger if it's visible under a microscope. It's called a deletion. Sometimes the missing piece is so tiny that it can only be identified by using new, more sensitive molecular techniques for analyzing chromosomes, such as an array comparative geometric hybridization, ARA-CGH, also known as a microarrays. It is then called a microdeletion. Smaller deletions generally remove fewer genes and molecules. Techniques can usually show whether particular genes or parts of genes presented or not. In the diagram on page 3, you can see the chromosome bands are numbered and outwards from the point where the short arm meets the long arm. The centromere or centromere. In a 16p deletion, the chromosome has broken into two pieces, leaving the material between them. So 16p.11.2 microdeletion syndrome. And there's the diagram. If we're on page 3, I'm not sure if you can see it. Hold on, let me click back once. So there we are. Okay, yeah, okay. Because I'm just reading it, so I don't need to be up here. Okay. So people with 16p.11.2 microdeletion have lost a small amount of DNA from their chromosomes. Generally, people with the 16p.11.2 microdeletion belong to one of three groups. One typical microdeletion of around 550 basis pairs, 550 kb, from band 11.2, and short arm chromosome 16 base pairs are the chemicals in the DNA that form in the ends of the rungs of its ladder like the structure, the missing base pairs are generally between around 29, 562, 499, and 3192, 499. These numbers show a position of chromosome 16 between positions 1 at the end of the short arm and positions 90,000, 354, 753 at the end of the long arm. Around 25 known genes are included in lost material. We know what some of them do, but not all. See page 4 through 16. So we'll cover that, but probably not tonight. So group 3, larger deletion, including typical micro deletion, see pages 23 through 26. So now if you remember me telling you, each one of my children has chromosome duplication and deletion 16p.11.2, correct? My son also has a KB deletion at 6p24.3p24.2 VUS. So he has more deletions than my daughter does. So every deletion may vary though too. Deletion of varying size, not overlapping the typical microdeletion, but from the beginning and from the region flanking it and closer to the end of the short arm of chromosome 16, see pages 16 through 23. So here's our base pairs over here. So basically they meet up. So if there's a deletion or a duplication, there's problems. And I'm not going to be, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you guys. Every deletion and duplication, it differs and it varies. Like a friend of mine that lives in a couple towns over that I've met through my chromosomal support group, her son has the exact 16p.11.2 duplication that my children have, and he's in a wheelchair and he's nonverbal and he's 6 years old. So everything can be different. That's why I always tell everybody I feel blessed that my children, my son we were told that my son would never walk. So we've pushed and pushed and pushed. As you get into this with me, you will understand why my son has hearing and sight issues. My daughter has a heart condition. There's just so many things that go with it, and we're going to get into that. Group 2, deletion of varying size, not overlapping the typical microdeletion, but from the region flanking it and closer to the end of the short arm of chromosome 16. We're going to see pages 16 through 23. So larger deletions, including the typical microdeletion, see pages 23 through 26. How common is it to have a 16p.11.2 microdeletion? Loss of gain of material from 16p.11.2 is increasingly recognized of most common structural chromosome disorders. The 16p.11.2 microdeletion has been found in around 1 out of 100 people with autism and in around 1 in 1,000 people with language or psychiatric disorders and around 3 in 10,000 people in general population. Weiss, 2008. Bijzami in 2009. So here's our group of what we're looking at for people in group 1 have the typical 16p.11.2 micro deletion. So sometimes it just doesn't, there's a lot. And here's your Q arm, your P arm, 13, and then the 16 is right in here. And this is group A, or group 1, group 2A, and group 2B. It just kind of gives you an estimate about how many people are affected by this. And every deletion and duplication is different. Like I said, your child could have it and maybe have a reading disorder or, something like that. It's something that's simple and it could be something, something traumatic. My son was also born with Arnold-Chiari malformation, which his cerebellum was pear-shaped, and he suffered from really bad migraines, and he was sick a lot. The numbers in the diagram refer to the human genome build 19, HG19. See pages 4 for more details. Your child's report may refer to a different human genome build. Please contact Unique or your genetic specialist for help with understanding the report. In the past, chromosomes were directly visualized under a highly powered microscope. The typical 16p.11.2 microdeletion is too small to be detected by this method. It is normally detected by a molecular analyst such as an array CGH, also called a microarray. Your genetics or genetic counselor will be able to tell you about the points where the chromosome has broken. The results are likely to read something like this. And this is basically what I read to you on my son's, the human genome built, and it goes on. A change was found in the 16p11.2 band in some array spots, but I'm just going to skip over that because if you want to, you can go to the Unique and look for yourself. Group 1, 16p.11.2 microdeletion syndrome. Some people with typical microdeletion share similar features. These features add up to emerging syndrome known as 16p.11.2 syndrome. Much remains to be discovered, but following points are reasonably clear. This little girl is adorable, though. But do you notice the protruding forehead? Most common features are delay in starting to speak and language and development, some development delay or learning difficulty, developmental delay and more likely to affect thinking, language skills, and mobility skills. An increased susceptibility to autism or an autism spectrum disorder. Very minor usual facial or physical features. Low muscle tone in babies. Tendency to be overweight. And a seizure disorder, which my son and daughter both have. Features vary even between members of the same family. They don't affect everyone in any individual. They can be more or less obvious. People with 16p.11.2 microdeletion do not usually have major birth defects. Some people are apparently affected by the 16p microdeletion. They have no learning, speech, or developmental difficulties. So my kids do have a lot of these. So yeah. Yes. Are there people with 16p.11.2 deletion who are healthy, have no major medical problems or birth defects, and have developmentally normally? Yes, there is. Yes, there are. When the parents of 14 individuals with deletion that had chromosome checked, 3 entirely normal and healthy parents, 2 mothers, 1 father, had the same 16p.11.2 microdeletion as their affected child. In another study, 2 people in general population of almost 19,000 had the 16p.11.2 microdeletion unique. As a member, families with microdeletion with family healthy parents and children, but also have children with developmental delay. Weiss, 2008, Bajima, 2009, Glessner, 2009, Shinawi, 2009, unique. So, delay in speaking. Delay in speech language is common and may be the first sign of developmental delay. Parents may notice their baby isn't babbling or their toddler isn't saying words. Their delay particularly affects expressive language with understanding relatively. The speech delay can exist separately from any learning difficulties. 26 unique members had an obvious speech delay, the ages of which children said their first recognizable words have rearranged for 12 months to 7 years, and words have emerged even later. Speaking in phrases emerged from 2 to 12 years among unique members. Difficulties with consonant articulation were common and could be persistent, especially when a child was tired or in a hurry. Families found the stimulation signing could help. a child who was talking but not being understood. So this just kind of gives us, 2 or 3 word phrases, and what it can be. Now let me replay that video for you with my son and him talking, because that way you'll understand. My son has a significant speech well, he didn't talk until he was almost 4, but you can hear him in this video. Sky's meeting Buddy for the first time. She just wants to play with him. I'm trying to hurry the video. Will it not let me go forward? I'm trying to fast forward it to Sky. Well, hold on. GBs. It won't let me. It won't let me fast forward. How come it won't let me fast forward this video? All right. Well, we're going to get on to page 5. This just goes through all the communication, the difficulties, what they can. My son still cannot whistle. It doesn't help that my son is deaf too. He can't hear. Even with his hearing aids, he has a real difficult time hearing. I don't remember if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, we had gone on a walk and I had recorded the ambulance and the fire truck. My son was ahead of me and he just kept walking, and he walked into the middle of the street, and the ambulance and the fire truck could have been turning down that street. And when I caught up to him, he's like, oh, I couldn't hear it. So I was like, what? So developmental delays. 2 people in 3 have shown some developmental delays. The pattern and severity of the delay is individual, with speech, gross motor, fine motor skills affected variably. Some families reported advanced skills in some areas, delayed in others. Any delay may be obvious from early babyhood at toddler or preschool checks, or when a child has difficulty keeping up at school. Once the delay has been confirmed, starting therapies early is helpful, with unique members making a significant progress and some entirely overcoming their initial delay, particularly in mobility. Here, unique parents describe their child's delay and the first signs they noticed. So let me tell you a little bit about my daughter first. She was placed with us in May of 2009, so she was just a little over 2 years old. She didn't speak other than or she would cry. So we had to teach her a lot of words, and she learned and caught on very quickly because my kids talked. But when my son didn't speak, and they were both in Head Start, both in early childhood, both on the WIC program, we, would tell the teachers, and they would be like, oh, what's going on? Let's keep them in speech therapy, blah, blah, blah. I finally got to the point where I said, you know what? I need to find out what's going on, because no matter how much we catch them up, they still keep falling behind. Not just one of them, both of them. So we decided to do what's called learning and diagnostics through a hospital in Wisconsin. And we did this learning and diagnostics, and we saw neuroscience doctors. We've seen genetic specialists. We have a team of doctors. So there's not just one doctor working with us. There's a team. And it's a huge team, because every time we turn around, we go to the doctor, we find out something new. Like last spring, my kids were both diagnosed with scoliosis. My son was 10. So for scoliosis to be found in a 10-year-old boy is very, very rare. My daughter has a 21-degree curve, and my son has a 19-degree curve. So they're hoping that the decompression surgery helps with him some. But with her, we're looking at back surgery. So everything can be different, and every time you go to the doctor, something new can pop up. My daughter was walking, but didn't talk at 2.5. My son at that age was still crawling, and like I said, no matter how many times we would catch them up, the low muscle tone played a big factor in, like, for my son, for sitting up, walking, crawling, being able to pick things up, being able to pull himself up. He also was under the failure to thrive because my son has fetal alcohol syndrome, and he went through methamphetamine and heroin withdrawal and alcohol withdrawal. So it was not easy. So as you could see in the blue, there are significant developmental delays. There's milestones that they miss. And I'm just kind of skimming over this. The first, notice the delay in communication, crawling, no playing with toys. He never cried if someone else held him or took him out of their arms. Now, my daughter was very, how do I explain it? She had separation anxiety, severe separation anxiety from me. I couldn't leave the house without her crying. And even if I was only walking to the store, which was 5 minutes from our house, and walking back, so it took me maybe a total of 10 minutes, she would still be in a severe panic crying attack by the time I got back. So it just got to the point where I would just take her with, bundle her up, no matter how cold it was, and just have her walk with me or carry her, put her in the stroller. So with my son, he didn't care as long as he was in, he would not sleep in his crib. We had this baby carrier that was mine. It wasn't a car seat, it was just a baby carrier. It played music, and it rocked. So it was very, very old. So it was mine from when I was a baby. If we didn't have that in his crib, we'd have to put him in the crib, sleeping, because number one, he had so many problems, like the withdrawals, the acid reflux, as I told you, talking to the doctors, talking to my doctor, we agreed to try the breastfeeding, just because it helped with not only was he getting breast milk, he was also getting formula. So we were mixing the both just to get the extra fat into him. So that was a huge thing for us. When you teach these kids, and it kind of says right in here, the infancy, and never cooed as a baby. So I'm going to talk to you about this only growling thing. That's what I kind of refer to as my daughter, where she go, like grunting. My son will growl at you, and he will hiss at you if he doesn't want to do anything. But he was a very, very, like, he didn't sleep unless somebody was next to him. So it was just really a difficult situation to go through. And then my kids were older when they were diagnosed, like much older, because my daughter was 7 and my son was 5. So, and that's why we decided to go through the learning and diagnostics. And that's what I recommend to everybody. If you see some delays and you want answers, but the school's like, oh yeah, it's just ADHD, give them some pills and here you go. What the school and these psychologists don't understand is you can give a child an Adderall or whatever else they're using for ADHD. That isn't going to fix it. Okay? It is not going to fix that child from being able to learn, especially if they can't process it, and especially if they cannot securely absorb it. Kids with this chromosome deletion and duplication have a really hard time memorizing things, and keeping those things in there. My two kids, it's like living with the 51st dates. They forget everything. But now, if you're talking to them about something that happened 2 years ago, they'll just randomly remember something, like randomly. But I could give you an example. I should have asked my son what he had for lunch. I was on the phone with my friend the other day. We were on the phone with his doctor. And I said, "What did you have for lunch today?" And he sputtered off something else. And I grabbed the menu off of our refrigerator and I said, "Sir, you had hamburgers." He goes, "Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot." So they even forget what they eat. What they eat. Like every day. Like, what'd you have for breakfast? I don't know. Like, my son's gone to school and said, "I didn't have breakfast." But also, too, my son is a binge eater because he's autistic. Kids with autism tend to binge eat, which leads to, overweight. So we're up against dang if you do and dang if you don't. So mobility is typically less affected, which is not true at all. So typically less affected than thinking, but delay in baby milestones is still common. Babies and toddlers may be slow to sit, crawl, walk, but so far everyone with microdeletion has walked, often only slightly later than a typical developing child. Unique children roll over between 1 and 10 months. They sat independently between 6 and 12 months, became mobile by crawling or bum shuffling between 7 and 22 months, walked independently between 10 months and 2.5 years. Most typically at 20 months and climbing stairs between 11 months and 4 years. Some babies first sat with a noticeably slumped posture. Some children never crawled or did so months or years after learning to walk. Walking style in young children is sometimes immature. Some babies, although not all, have a low muscle tone, which both of my kids did, and feel floppy to hold. This hypotonia is one of the causes in their slow progress in reaching their mobility milestones. So this goes on about the family description. I highlighted that. So my son was almost 3 years old before he walked. He was a year and a half before he crawled. He was over a year before he sat up. He also was only 15 pounds at 10 months old. So he was little. When he was a year, he was 18 months old. So the hand-eye coordination, this is, my son didn't ride. Oh, okay. So my son just learned how to ride a bike on his 11th birthday without training wheels. So this goes into, children in the whole, I'll highlight that. See right there. That's where I'm at. So talking about the delays. So let's go into the fine motor skills. May also be delayed. So babies can be late to grasp and play with toys, develop a pincher grip, and vary. Some children with fine motor skills are not apparently affected, while others are more affected in the mobility. So my kids were severely affected by that. Personal care. Help. So the level of personal care that children achieve is variable. Young children, those with fine motor delays, and those with more significant learning difficulty need extra help. Explicit teaching and supervision with those with good fine motor skills and a milder degree of learning difficulty. So let me tell you what my son did. So as you know, I explained to you I do work. I do taxes on the side. I also work for a graphic designs company on Tuesdays and now Fridays. Okay. Plus we have 350 milk cows. 350. So we always have a big, huge bottle of like the orange cleaner for my husband uses that. And then I have a huge bottle of like the antibacterial hand soap. A huge bottle. So today he was supposed to do his chicken chores, come in the house, wash his hands, get ready for dinner. He played around. Nobody was in there to supervise him. So this young man decided to take, and we're talking the giant size bottle, not the small bottle, the giant size bottle of the antibacterial soap, took the back of the toilet cover off, dumped that whole bottle of that soap in the back of the toilet. So when you flush, you had foaming bubbles everywhere. My toilet's going to be clean, but he cannot be unsupervised in a bathroom because I don't know what it is. He is obsessed with playing with toilet paper and getting it wet and throwing it everywhere. The floor, the ceilings, the walls, at the animals. He's actually wrapped one of our cats up in wet toilet paper. And it, for him, it takes a few minutes. Like the one day my son left the shaving cream on the counter in there, and he sprayed the whole bottle all over the bathroom. And then he was like, how do I explain it? Playing around in it, like literally rolling around in it, and like not your normal typical 11-year-old, almost 12-year-old. So some of the things that this right here, we're going to look at this. So all of this. So drawing. My daughter exceeds at this. She's a wonderful drawer. My son, on the other hand, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing my two children, but just to show you the differences that this micro deletion and duplication can have. My son was starting to learn how to tie his shoe and still cannot, to this day, remember how to tie his shoe. And he completely forgot all things taught to him when he had his decompression surgery. So he has a hard time holding pencils and small objects, and Legos affect him differently. Like, he loves Legos, but they're harder for him to put together. He'll always come to one of us or even my daughter KK and say, can you help me put these Legos together? So let's get into the personal care of this, because this is a hard, difficult one for me. The level of personal care your children achieve is very, very variable. Young children with those fine motor skills have a hard time, very hard time. Kay has a very hard time. Last week I wasn't feeling good. I have Crohn's disease. So I had chicken from Hardee's. And I was in the other bathroom downstairs. Technically, we have 4 bathrooms. One of them's only a toilet and a sink, but I was in one of the bathrooms, and she had taken a shower, and she came out, and she still had a glob of conditioner in there. So my daughter had to walk her back in there and help her wash it out. And brushing her hair, she has a really hard time brushing her own hair and doing her own teeth. She doesn't like anything in her mouth. She doesn't like slimy things. Like, if you give her something slimy, she won't touch it. A lot of the times you'll find her with her hands in her sweatshirt pocket. We've actually had to take sweatshirts away because otherwise she was keeping her hands in her sweatshirt pocket or her pants pocket. It's just a sensory thing, but she does not like to brush her teeth, or she doesn't like water either. That's why we bought the pool and encourage a lot of water play, but she still does not like water. So we struggle in some of these, and even with visuals. One thing I'm going to tell parents to do is visuals, a lot of visuals. Simple clothing, and it says it right on here. Let me highlight this for you. So some of the things on here, come on. Oh, I wanted to highlight all this. So they recommend simple things, and I recommend visuals, like giving them a simple visual, like, okay, take your toothbrush out, put the toothpaste on their visual, like pictures of the toothpaste, the toothbrush, brush your teeth, show a picture of the brushing the teeth, the cup with the rinsing water, rinse off your brush, and you're done. So basically, it's a 4-step process. Toothbrush and toothpaste. Brush your teeth, your rinsing cup, and clean your toothbrush out. I wouldn't do any more steps than that with the visuals, because then you're getting too many visuals that's going to confuse them. So if you can stick with 1 through 3 if possible, that'd be great. If you don't mind cleaning up toothpaste and the toothbrush, you could even leave that one out and do that one yourself. But that's what I started doing for my kids, was actual picture visuals and step 1, 2, and 3. Just because these kids cannot handle more than a 3-step process. Simple clothing. They do not like buttons and zippers. They have a hard time with that because of their low muscle tone and their fine motor skills. Sorry. So easy clothing. My son doesn't like his hair to a certain length. That has to be short, and I'm talking right to the scalp short. He also doesn't like tags. Every tag that we find in an item has to be cut out. Sheets. Okay, they're both like this. They have to be like a silky feeling sheet. They do not like the what are they? The flannel sheets. Neither one of my kids like flannel sheets. And soft blankets. They still sleep with their baby blankets because they're soft. They're their lubbies. And they have to be, like with Jack, we have magnetized pictures. I was actually able to find these magnets on Amazon, print out some pictures. E6000 of them on there, and I made them into like magnetized buttons. They're epoxied over the top. So they look like buttons in the shower. 1 squirt, put your hair, wash. 1 squirt from the conditioner. And I had to get rid of the squirt bottles because that wasn't working. Because he would sit and squirt, 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 squirt. That's why I said he cannot be left alone in the shower, and he's almost 12. And he's a boy, so he's getting things that all boys with hormones and go through puberty get. So he's getting hair. So my daughter, she uses the bottle method, and she has we still have the pumps in the bathroom for her. They work for her. 1 pump shampoo, 1 pump conditioner. She just doesn't like her head underneath that water. We struggle with, getting her to put her head under that water. We've tried different cups, different pitchers. Having her lay backwards freaks her out, so we don't even bother with that. It's just easier to either use like a pitcher, and then I just found at Walmart, it's like a smaller version of a pitcher. It's in the baby section, where it's got like a little rubber part. It's for rinsing hair and can hold some toys, I think. So we started using that. That works pretty well. She just doesn't like water on her head for some reason. We don't know why. So let's move on to the no personal care help needed. That's not true. Well, this is this child. So toilet training. Okay. We struggle with this. With both children. KK is 14 and she still wears pull-ups. She is on medication for her von Willebrand, which also is a medication that helps with bedwetting, but it doesn't. You got to remember these kids also have smaller kidneys and bladder. Their organs are smaller. And my son is still in a pull-up at night, and sometimes he'll forget he has it on, and he'll just pee and poop in it. And if we don't have the pull-up on him, he will literally, instead of stopping what he's doing, he gets so enticed in like outside play or a video game play, or like the cow today. He wanted to be out by Buddy, and he literally stood by Buddy and peed himself because He doesn't want to miss out. I call it FOMO, fear of missing out. And it's real. FOMO is real. Fear of missing out. So he will literally soil himself so that he doesn't miss anything. But he also does not stop. He does wet the bed. There is a broad spectrum of need of special support with learning, typically ability, learning, difficulty at it all. Few score in the gifted range in certain areas of the learning with unique. One child has an IQ score of 135. Others have specific learning difficulties. Perhaps a largest group has a level of difficulty that would be described as borderline slow, normal, or mild with a test IQ of 60 to 79 range, and others have a greater learning challenge range from moderate to severe and more support. So I'm kind of touched on this subject the other night, where my son struggles with English writing and reading. He is in a 3rd grade reading level. He hates tests and he hates homework. But when it comes to math, he would do math all day long. My daughter, on the other hand, struggles with math. She loves reading and she loves to draw. But she is not your typical 14-year-old. Mentality-wise, she still plays with dolls. LOL dolls, Barbies, her reborn dolls that I've made her, her guinea pigs, her rabbits. She can't wait to grow up so that she can start making reborns and she can play with her babies and doesn't have to go to school anymore. So, and she loves animals, as you could see on the video. She's in that second video today. And it was a big surprise. That's why I was all excited yelling for Jack to come to the back door. They were really excited to meet Buddy. Because of COVID last year, they couldn't show Jumanji, which was our other bull that we had to sell, because Jumanji got big real fast, and he was not a friendly bull. No matter how much we worked with him, he had his tendencies, and I can't have an animal like that around kids that are autistic or unique, or even my grandchildren that don't have disabilities. He just needed a farm where there was not a lot of ladies and no other bulls. That was another problem we had. He did not like our other bull. So Jumanji got sold at auction, and we got Buddy instead. So they love their animals. Learning is very difficult. Very, very difficult. And it's not the problem of learning. It's their ability to absorb it and their ability to retain it. That is the problem, is their ability to retain it. And I'm not even reading off of this. I'm still right here at the some learning disabilities and learning difficulty. So, we read the IQ of 60 to 79 range, and others have early learning challenges ranging from moderate to severe and some more support. Information from Unique suggests the language-based learning may be specifically affected with mathematics and art relatively spared. However, this is not true for all, and some children have advanced language skills. Some children attend mainstream regular school. Others attend a speech and language unit. Others attend a school for children with special needs. Yet others a unit for children with autism spectrum disorder. Depending on the local schools, some children start their education in mainstream setting, moving to a more supportive learning environment from the age of 7 to complete the secondary education. So my kids have both had IEPs since before they entered, well, when they entered preschool, they had their IEPs. So 2 and 3. Well, 3 and 4 technically, or no, 3 and 2 when they, or 4 and 2, sorry, 4 and 2. So they both had it. My son does have a hard time with computer games and video games. The keyboard, it's a one tap, where my daughter does use both fingers because that's her main writing tool, because she does struggle with writing. And he does hate to write. They both have a double stigmatism in their eye, so they cannot see, like, and I can't either. So if we go to one of the 3D movies, we can't see it, so it's not worth our time even paying for it and going to that movie. We just can't see it. My son is at a grade level 3 for reading level and has a difficulty time reading. My daughter loves to read. She is also behind as far as reading level, but she still loves to read. Thank the Lord, because he hates it. Just hates it. So I think we're going to go on to page 10, and then we're going to conclude for tonight. I know I said we'd do this and do a call-in, so we'll do this page for tonight. So we'll do page 10, and then I will put the link in if somebody wants to call in and ask any questions. So this just talks about attending the special school and having some support staff, which my son has a para. They call them paraprofessionals here. Make sure he gets all of his assignments and does them, or tries to do them. And he also goes to his case manager, which is his special ed teacher, to his room for some extra stuff. And he also goes to speech and language. Same thing with my daughter, except it's a little bit more intense with my daughter, just because we're working on the hygiene aspect of it. So when my daughter gets her period, it is very hygienically necessary for her to keep clean, and she doesn't like wearing pads, and she just doesn't understand that she needs to wear the pad to catch the blood. So we're working on that, because we've had a lot of issues since January, since school has gone back, where she'll just kind of sit there and it's just bleeding all over. So we've switched up, and we have gone to adult disposable underwear, which makes it a little bit more comfortable. We're just trying to keep that away from the skin and keep that area as clean as possible, seeing the fact that she does deal with having a permanent STD. And during her period, there is outbreaks because of the irritation and the moisture. So we want to keep it dry and clean. So that's why I did want to talk about my daughter and what we go through on a daily, a monthly, a weekly, because she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand that she knows that it burns and it hurts and it makes her cry, but she doesn't like to wear pads. So we just have to keep it clean and keep things, and she'll probably never understand ever. So we'll just work with her and keep everything clean and dry. So they're talking about small public schools which offer individual learning and stayed back 1 year. So we did hold my son back in first grade. We had him repeat first grade just because he was so far behind already. Prior to him being diagnosed with learning diagnostics at a hospital with a clinician and a very known psychiatrist, psychologist. They kept him in a sensory room all day long without a diagnosis and said that he wasn't sociable and they couldn't socialize him with the other kids. So that didn't help matters. So he had a lot of difficulty with that too. So we did hold him back in first grade. He caught up to a certain extent. 4 years ago we moved, and he's just been stuck in a rut at the new school. So this kind of goes over the current ability as a 6-year-old in the mainstream and then junior high. It talks about learning support, reading, writing. So let's talk about the influence of susceptibility to autism or autism spectrum. The typical 16p.11.2 microdeletion is found more often among children and adults diagnosed with autism or a disorder or the autism spectrum, such as Asperger's disorder, than among the general population. Not everyone with the microdeletion has autism. Perhaps 1 in 3 to 1 in 5 does. Boys are more likely to be affected seriously. 726 unique members show autistic features, 5 of them boys, but only 1 has a formal diagnosis of autism. It is currently believed to have the microdeletion increases the risk of autism, but does not necessarily cause it. The underlying suggestion is that a network of genes within the microdeletion rejoin is disrupted, possibly causing changes in the brain development that may manifest as developmental delay as autism. These genes include genes involved in cell-to-cell signification, interaction, and it goes on with the Q mark. So I said we would stop here. We're going to stop on page 10, and we will come back, let's say Sunday night, to page 11. So we're back at StreamYards. So yes, so that we're able to come back and do that, I'm going to open it up so that if people want to call in, we'll take about, let me see where I'm at. Oh, we're over. So I will stay on another 20 minutes. Okay. That'll give enough time for 5 callers and keep it to a 2-minute minimum. Since I'm only going to do 5 callers, I will give you 3 minutes each. So that'll give us enough time to end with our disclaimer. And then we'll be back on Sunday night. So hold on. Let me copy the StreamYard link. So we'll put the StreamYard link in. So every unique child is different. And one of the things that I went to my state legislator about, I gotta put this up. So one of the things I went to my state legislator about is, I'm not sure if anybody's aware of this, that having the testing done for a chromosome deletion is a simple blood test. It might take a few weeks to get back, but it's a simple blood test. It's something that can be done at birth, and it's something that should be done at birth because parents should know right away. The sooner you are able to find out if your child has a chromosomal deletion or duplication is better, because you can get them the help that they need: speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. The sooner you get your children that kind of help, the better. My son was in occupational therapy at 1 year old. And then my daughter was in speech and special ed from the time she was in preschool on. So that's, nothing not normal. I mean, it's a simple blood test and it needed to be brought in. And I'm just going to get, I'm just going to get our copyright disclaimer on there for now.
So right now, really.
Hold on, guys. I got a message. Hopefully it's not a craziness one. So there's our little disclaimer. Oh, I have my camera off, you guys. Why don't you say something? So I'm going to show you guys my shirt. So it says, I'm not flipping you the finger. I'm making you a unicorn with my hand. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Did I change the time on there? I sure did. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to multitask. I run a support group, so... So we're going to end this with an evening prayer. Dear Lord, I am grateful that you see and understand my circumstances clearly, especially when I can't. Please grant me your peace and wisdom as I wait on you. I may not know that the future holds, but I know you hold me and my future in your hands. Thank you for your many ways you bless my life. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So just wanted to throw that out there and get that all out there before I get off here. I just want to send some love to everyone going through a hard time right now, and you are deeply loved, and we are lifting you up in your prayers, and we are lifting you up in our prayers. So I'm going to get off here, guys, because I don't want to be on here too long. And I have the reason I can't be on every night is, I could, but I have commitments in other groups and organizations that I run. And one of them is addiction is a family disease, and I've already spoken on that. So I've made a commitment for certain things on certain nights, but I'm also going to be making a different YouTube channel. I will message certain individuals through Facebook Messenger to let them know. I'm going to cover some things that probably wouldn't be easy for some people that are over here trolling. And we are going to say prayers. We are going to talk about my Dollar Tree crafts and my redos. And a lot of my crafts aren't Dollar Tree. Some of the stuff I do is very expensive, especially Hobby Lobby, Choc Couture. So I'm just kind of scratching my head on that message. I wasn't even going to address her, and I'm not going to, because I don't play with psycho people. Especially people that accuse certain people of being family members to people that aren't even family members. I can't. Behave yourself, Dee Dee. Behave yourself. You just said a prayer. Put it in God's hands. Let God deal with them. All right. I'm going to get off here, and I'm going to be working on creating a new channel over the weekend. I probably won't drop the name of the new channel, as there's people that come over here and troll that I don't want following me, unfortunately. Red, if you happen to see this, I'm going to message you and Stacy, and for everybody else that is interested, I will send you the link to the new channel. But we are going to continue to do our unique and the 16p.11.2, just because I think awareness needs to be made. This channel right here is going to be built on foundation of facts and things that can help to prevent another said child from being molested and being hurt. And it's going to give you ideas on how to deal with certain situations. Like in our case, dealing with a child that is autistic, that does not understand a menstrual cycle and does not understand this STD. It's not that I'm trying to shame my daughter. My daughter was not raped. My daughter was molested, which is a huge difference. So you can go ahead and hit the thumbs down button. I really don't care. You give me that thumbs down button, that still gives me algorithm. That still gives me, yes, to get that voice out there for a million zillion people out on YouTube for the world to know. Nobody's going to tease my daughter for something she couldn't help. But to classify it as a rape when it's not a rape, when it's a molestation, there's a huge difference. Huge difference. So let's clarify that. But I am going to talk about my children. I am going to talk about my family, our journey, because it's our channel. It's our journey, the things we go through, the things we've been through. And there's nobody that's going to silence me. Not your crew coming over here and sending me nasty messages. Because whether you like me or not, and you're sending these people over here, I am taking screenshots of this stuff so that people are seeing it. They're seeing the named person that this girl's sticking up for and bringing the names up. Y'all crazy. I'm going to leave you in God's hands for the night. We said our evening prayer. But if you ain't got nothing to like, don't dislike it. If you got a problem trying to silence me about talking about something that needs to be put out there that could help the next mom, the next child, the next dad, and you don't like it, then don't scroll here. But I want to thank everybody that did stop in. You have a blessed night, and I will see you Sunday night, and we will continue on our journey.